Throughout this book, we'll discuss all the ways we communicate our feelings about whomever we are dealing with at any given moment, the subtle lightening, fast facial expressions, body language, vocal inflections, touch, and everything else in our horizon of signals. Okay. I love that. When we are expressing positive emotions authentically, contentment, compassion, joy, we do so in a way that grows in other people, whether it's your best friend or a supermarket cashier. They can read our signals clearly and may respond in kind, but that depends on their emotional state. People feel emotions such as sorrow, shame, or anxiety often wish to discourage social interactions, and those signals are also being communicated. Those people might benefit most from engagement with others, but too often it's unlikely to happen. This is a particularly serious problem in our schools, which often reprimand children when they express a negative emotion rather than see it as a cry for help. These are the kids who are neglected, ignored, or suspended for misbehavior when they should be given empathy, extra attention, and opportunities to build skills and meaningful relationships. Research shows that having just one caring adult can make the difference between whether a child will thrive or not. We all have multitudes of relationships with our children and the parents and significant others, but also with the plumber, the driver in the next lane, our softball teammates, our boss or colleague, and the women who holds the door open for us and at the mall. And all these connections operate on our same basic principle. Our mood at any given moment is expressed in the signals we send out. If we're feeling joyful and open and expansive, it will make us confident and accepting of others. If we are feeling down on ourselves, it will color how we relate to other people, or if we connect at all. We tell people what we want from them by the messages we send, whether warm and hoping for a response in kind, or off-putting when all we want is distance. This is the challenge for many people on autism spectrum. They have difficulty reading the cues and are coming up with a fitting response, and that they have difficulty sending cues that other people understand. As a result, they struggle building and maintaining relationships. We all express emotions in order to get what we want from the people in our lives. If we make a show of anger, we may not earn much empathy, but we instill fear in others and maybe remove any obstacles that are in our way. If, on the other hand, we need cooperation and understanding, we know what emotion message to send that will get the response we desire. People feeling compassion see greater common humanity with the strangers. They punish others less, are more generous and cooperative, and are willing to sacrifice for others. Research shows that high-powered individuals tend to be less responsive to emotions of people around them. In one study, these individuals responded with less compassion than people with less power when listening to someone describe suffering. Does this phenomenon explain anything about our political and business leaders? Sometimes the emotions we feel send signals that elicit the opposite of the response we want and need. Picture a typical child If he's troubled or anxious, he may wish that his parents, the teacher, would reach out and offer comfort. But when those adults sense that child's emotional state, especially when he's acting up, they may respond but just the opposite way because of their own emotional response to the signals of negative mood. This dynamic grows much of human interaction. When in need, emotional support most is what we least likely to receive it. Didn't intervene. What was his mindset? Stay away. This kid's a whip who needs to toughen up. Was he too preoccupied with his own issues to pay attention to mine? Perhaps he was just a loss about what to do. Either way, I suffered socially, emotionally, and academically. Our emotions are linked to physiological reaction in our brains, releasing hormones and other powerful chemicals that, in turn, affect our physical health, which is an impact on our emotional state. It's all connected. That's why physical sickness can be caused by mind under emotional stress. But there is also the opposite phenomenon, physical wellness, that's fostered by positive feelings. Both kinds underscore the importance of managing our emotional lives. Inside our brains, hormones and other neurochemicals are being turned on and off depending on what we are feeling at a given moment. The hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, located in the midbrain, as one of the major neuroendocrine systems that controls how we respond to stress and also regulates emotions and moods. The HPA axis, where certain hormones such as adrenaline and cortisol originate. Researchers studying the regional brain we found that the early life exposure to mild, everyday stressors enhances our future ability to regulate emotions and confers lifelong resilience. But exposure extreme or prolonged stress does just the opposite. It induces a hyperactivity in the HPA axis of lifelong susceptibility to stress. The difference between good stress and bad stress mainly has to do with duration and intensity. For instance, having to prepare a compelling presentation for your client is a form of stress, but the good kind is caused by challenge of achieving a desired goal and the lasts only a short time. The ending of a game or a major event such as wedding day affects us similarly. Stress-inducing but happy. These events from the momentary release of stress hormones, but then it ends. Short pulse of stress can boost immunity and raise levels of cancer-fighting molecules, and the effect lasts for weeks after the stressful situation ends. Irene, focus. Brush up your thoughts. I need to think about that. What? Okay. Stress lives in a fight or flight state in which your body turns off in long-term building and repairs projects. There is ample scientific evidence of the long-term harm caused by childhood emotional trauma, such as bullying. Children may experience compromised immunity disease, digestive tract pain and upset, headaches, poor sleep, inability to concentrate, and depression. These effects can persist into adulthood, creating physical and mental health problems long after bullying is in the past. Feeling down, pessimism, empathy, depression is linked to low levels of serotonin and dopamine, and so-called feel-good neurotransmitters. Serotonin plays a role in pain perception, which may be why people experiencing negative emotions report more severe symptoms of illness, and nearly half of patients with depression also suffer aches and pains. Negative emotional state, anxiety, anger, sadness, stress are closely associated with unhealthy behaviors such as poor diet, smoking, excessive drinking, physical inactivity, and social isolation. They have recently found in a recent study with more than 5,000 teachers from across the United States. Those are the same lifestyle factors that contribute to or most feared widespread illness. Heart disease, cancer, type 2 diabetes, addiction, dementia. These conditions in turn have a devastating impact on our emotional lives, and the feedback loop turns into a downward spiral for our health, mental and physical. Ultimately, they deepen our feelings of helplessness and despair that we will ever manage to improve our moods and or our health. Interestingly, we found that positive workplace climate acted as a buffer for the deleterious effect of negative emotions and health outcomes for teachers. There is a great deal of medical research linking hostility and anger to heart disease. Men reporting highest level of anger were over 2.5 times more likely to suffer cardiac events such as heart attack than other men. Negative emotions have been associated with hypertension, increased heart rate, constriction of peripheral blood vessels, unhealthy blood lipids, and decreased immune system function. Not only does an angry outburst cause a spike in blood pressure, but every time we recall what made us an soulmate, our blood pressure rises again. According to one study, a 30-minute argument with your significant others can slow your body's ability to heal by at least a day. And if you argue regularly and the delay is doubled, even subtle forms of anger such as impatience, irritability, and grudginess may damage health. We can see the influence of our emotions on our physical health in less dire ways too. The stress association with knowing you have to deliver a speech can double the severity of allergy symptoms for 2 days. Feeling sad makes it a symptom of illness seem more severe and cause greater discomfort. In one study, people who scored low in positive emotions were 3 times as likely to become sick after experimenting to evict virus than those who scored higher. When the latter group did get sick, their symptoms were less severe, but our emotions can also from a release of beneficial neurochemicals and hormones. Crying is soothing because it carries stress hormones out of our bodies. Feelings of gratitude increase in oxygen levels in our tissues, speed healing, and boost our immune system. Being in love with and finally raise the level of nerve growth factor, a hormone-like substance that restores the nerve system and improves memory. The effect lasted for about a year, according to researchers. In one study, laughter caused by watching a comedy film increased the flow of beta-endorphin, which enhances our mood and stimulates growth hormones, which repair ourselves. Even the anticipation of levels was found a lower level of cortisol and adrenaline. Laughter may also reduce the risk of heart attack. Feeling good, therefore, may encourage health behaviors, which in turn can promote greater emotional well-being and physical health. This suggests that after crisis, people who have a more positive feelings may be more resilient than those who experience fewer positive emotions. There is an obvious answer. Artistic work such as painting, music, literature, and the profession that demands and reward creativity, such as architecture, science, design, and engineering, among others. There leads us many chances to be creative, to act in new and thoughtful ways, and what makes life an adventure. But there can be something scary about creativity too. It represents a break with the status quo and a step into the unknown. Creative decisions, even in the smallest matters, are a way of saying we think we have a better idea. And then comes the feedback from others, but even from ourselves. What if your new way doesn't work out so well? What if you made things worse, at least in somebody's eyes? It may be not yours. What makes you think we are so creative anyway? You can see that our creative impulses and our emotions are closely intertwined. Many of us believe that personality and intelligence alone drive our ability to be creative, or that creativity is an all or nothing gift, rather than a set of skills that can be improved with practice. True, some personality traits such as honesty, experience are reliably related to it, but traits alone don't account for everything. And the research confirms that creativity is only modest to associate with IQ, meaning you don't have to be a genius to be creative. This is where our emotional lives extend even beyond the personal. Creativity is the lifeblood of our culture and our economy. In a poll, 1,500 corporate CEOs said that an employee's creativity was the single best indicator of the future success. Without innovation, societies stagnate and die. Creativity also includes two other factors: performance and effectiveness. Creativity can exist only in the abstract, in our minds and nowhere else. That suggests having a rich imagination. The creative process needed to be followed by concrete action. Once we devise new strategies, we must have the confidence to put them to use. Effective performance is much as part of creativity as initial animating ideas. But whether we take advantage of all the possibilities every time is a different matter. Safe to say, at times, we all feel less creative than we'd like to be. That's because our creativity is so closely tied to our emotional state, even though the connection may not be so obvious. Again and again, in working with educators, families, and children, we wind up discussing the ubiquitous problems of stress and frustration, the despair of feelings, as though we lack the power to make meaningful chances for better. It's hard to imagine a worse feeling. For a child, it can be devastating. Children have little control over their lives and the rest of conditions. We all go through tough times, but most of us believe that if we persevere, we can find the solutions. That's another form of creativity. Everyday creativity, the ability to keep discovering new answers when the other ones no longer work. What must life be like for the children and adults who can't hope even for that? Reason as creativity, defined as an ability to respond to situations in ways that are novel and original. Children have become less emotionally expressive, less energetic, less talkative and overly expressive, less humorous, less imaginative, less unconventional, less lively and passionate, less perceptive, less apt to connect to seemingly irrelevant things, less synthesizing, and less likely to see things from different angles. Who or what could, we believe, accept the parents in an educational system that often squash original thinking and paralyzes students from using their imagination. When discussing creative thinking, psychologists often use in terms convergent, divergent thinking. The former operates when searching for only one correct solution to a problem or only one perfect answer to a question and try to arrive at it. While mostly straight ahead linear thinking, the divergent approach moves in all directions. It assumes there are many possible solutions and it tries to consider each, especially the most creative and unusual ones. The impulse to create seems to come naturally to human brain. However, we must encourage to express it. In schools, it's hard to be creative when convergent thinking. The ability to remember facts and perform well on the standardized test is most likely rewarded. To engage children and prepare them for the workforce, they must be given more opportunities and encouragement to be creative. For that to happen, schools need to restructure learning so that it promotes unconventional thinking and fresh approaches into problem solving across the content area, not just in the art. For example, more and more schools are incorporating project-based learning and design thinking. A 5-stage process for solving complex problems that includes 1. Defining a problem. 2. Understanding human needs involved. 3. Reframing the program in human-centric ways. 4. Generating a multitude of ideas. And 5. A hands-on approach in the prototyping and testing. Research shows that divergent thinking results in feelings of joy, pride, and satisfaction. A study across 5 countries with different languages found that working on creative tasks leads to an increase in positive emotions and autonomy. Another study showed that creative behavior on a given day leads to more positive emotions and a sense of flourishing the next day. As with so much of our emotional lives, there's feedback loop at work. Feeling good encourages us to act creatively, which makes us feel even better. But happiness is not only a single key to creative. In fact, modest levels of stress have been found in some cases to significantly improve in creative performance compared with no stress at all. Even emotions such as anger and distress can serve as motivation for creative thinking and enhance creativity. Compared with the control group, the sympathy participants showed greater originality in thinking. One explanation is that sympathy is a reaction to other people's suffering and therefore produces intrinsic motivation to generate solutions that reduce their distress. Creativity is especially important in the face of adversity. When you're disappointed because plan A didn't work out. When we tried hard and still receive negative feedback. When someone stands in the way of our progress and even tries to prevent it, we first have to manage our hurt or anger, not deny it but accept it, and then put it to good use as a motivational force. That's where creativity can come to our rescue and allow us to achieve our goal despite obstacles. Now, do we see how complex this simple question, how do you feel, really can be? That emotional roller coaster is no small matter. It has enormous influence on the most important areas of our lives. That's the first step toward accepting who we truly are. What then? And the next step. Okay. 책이 잘 안 읽혀져요. 여기서 오늘 그만할게요. 수고했어요, 아이린님.